New studio take one and mark.
Hi friends, welcome to my new studio. Oh my god, it's actually happening. I can't believe it's actually happening. Surprise! This is the project, and let me just tell you right now that it's going to be a work in progress for a bit. So if the audio is still echoey, which it definitely is, I can absolutely hear it. If the lighting is a bit wonky, if there's weird shadows happening, just know that this video is basically a test run of the brand new space, so we're just gonna give all that a pass, okay? I don't wanna get too much into detail because I am going to save all of the behind the scenes working on the studio for my Patreon, but I will just say that this has been the culmination of a lot of things. I can't believe that it is June already. It is actually Juneteenth as I'm filming this. Let's keep fighting the good fight. Just so you know, with every video I post, I will keep putting that Black Lives Matter card down in the description box below so you can go check it out. As far as I know, this link is the most comprehensive list of resources that I can find, so that will just be always there, and I will always remind you to just go check it out if you haven't recently, because it changes all the time and gets updated very frequently. So as you may know, 2020 has been mostly a garbage fire. Andrew and I very serendipitously ended up going on vacation to the United States back in January, and I had plans to start working on the space once we returned at the end of January. So after my mom, shout out to Mama Bear, Colleen Sutterby, just so you know, all of this was her idea. Once we were back from vacation, Dad and I started picking up paint. We started clearing out the room, donating all of the stuff that was already in here to make way for the setup. And that was in February, March, and then there was a pandemic, so things just got put on hold for what felt like indefinitely. It was just really hard to keep my mouth shut for this long while I had to sit on this, and I didn't want to ruin the surprise for you, so I risked looking like a flake. But it is finally here, just in time for the summer heat. A couple of things to know. While we may not be battling noisy upstairs neighbors anymore, we are battling a train yard right downstairs. We're on the 11th floor of a condo building. We basically live on top of a train yard. So it's gonna get sometimes a little bit noisy in here. Also, there is no air conditioning in this building. It's gonna be hot as balls. You guys are just gonna have to put up with the sound of a fan. I hope that is okay. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go turn it on right now so that I stop sweating profusely. I'm kind of floored that I'm even making this video right now in this room, in a space that I have dreamed of and planned since the end of 2019. And while it is a work in progress, especially with all the set dressing and all that, I could not be happier with where it is at right now. So long story short, it is not finished. It might never be finished, but it is our new home on this channel. So I hope so much that you enjoy it, and we will just iron out all the kinks together. Also, I just feel like I can be more me right now in this space. I will primarily be filming when my mom is at work. That means that we have this whole amazing space to ourselves, and we never have to worry about someone coming in or listening. It's just us, and that makes me feel so relieved. This is what YouTube should feel like. It should not feel like an invasion of other people's privacy. Oh, P.S. all of this artwork, in case you have been wondering, is 99.9% family artwork. Obviously, creativity runs in the family. This is all my dad's side, so my Auntie Julia and my grandmother, my nanny, they paint. I will actually drop their Instagrams in the description box below so you can go check out their amazing work. Even though this has been in the works since the beginning of this year, all of this work happened in the span of 1 week, and that was last week. It was pretty decent timing because I was already going to be taking a hiatus, and then the week after that we started, which was last week, we started working on the space, which meant I didn't know if I was actually going to be able to get anything up while I was working on the space. I actually did end up filming something. I did it in my mom's living room while we were watching the Food Network. I used natural light. I just set up my camera. It was just going to be a music only, very chill, relaxed video. I really loved the vibe of that footage. I was actually really stoked to put it up. As soon as I finished filming that video, I found out that a brand, which was featured heavily in that tutorial, was mistreating a Black creator that they had hired. I didn't feel comfortable promoting that brand on my channel, especially a week after I took the hiatus to try and focus on Black Lives Matter movement. Especially after almost 2 weeks of no uploads on my channel, I risked scrapping that video. So the hiatus has been a lot longer than I anticipated or wanted. Anyway, it was a small price to pay. However, I really loved that look. What I want to do today for the first video in the space is to recreate that look, but using other brands. I do have some makeup coming in the mail. I have ordered from a couple Black owned brands I'm super excited to share with you. All right, I need to go wet my sponge again because it is already dried, because that's how long I've been talking to you guys. Now that you've seen this face, let's zoom you in and let's start some makeup. Let it be known that I'm still ironing out the kinks of my camera angles, lighting, camera settings, the whole shebang. This is a huge experiment. You just gotta bear with me through the growing pains. Let's just slap on a base because the eye makeup is super simple. Let me just grab the products that I'm going to be using. Let's pull out the Sugar Pill palette, shall we? Oh, and how nice is it that I can actually stand in this space without hitting my head on the ceiling? It's the little things, really, it is. We will use the Melt Baby Girl stack today, most likely. Probably for this guy right here. I love using this as a blush. Ooh, and these two glitters might go in there as well. However, I do have a mess-free alternative to glitter here, the Liquid Fairy Lights by Pixie. It's not gonna be exactly the same look. I think I'm going to go with the same vibe, same color scheme, but I want to improve upon it a little bit more. This camera angle is not quite what I wanted. Okay, so let's ignore the fact that my face is still very sweaty. First things first, we prime. Milk Hydro Grip, always. If there is a better primer out there, you can let me know. As far as I know, this one still reigns supreme for me. As I was packing up all of my things, it was really funny how it all seemed like so much makeup in that tiny space. But as soon as I started putting it away in this room, I kind of realized like my collection really is not as big as I thought it was. It's funny how having enough space to organize your stuff will make it feel like you have less stuff. We're trying to keep the coverage light just because it's summer and it's hot. This is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, which I've been really loving and I've wanted to try forever because of just how many people love it. I still love the Revlon concealer. I still have it at home, but this like is kind of revolutionary. I'm still on the sponge train. I haven't really switched back to brush yet just because I don't know. I feel like with my skin's texture right now, the sponge has just been really doing it for me. Also, nice thing about bangs is that I don't have to worry about my forehead. Let's just layer up on a couple of these splotches. This foundation concealer combination, by the way, is pretty killer. This is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation, and they leave you with a really nice finish to the skin. So let's throw on a bit of cream bronzer. Usually I just dip my sponge into the bronzer itself, tap a little bit out on the back of my hand, and just gently work it into the skin. Usually to soften the edges, if I need to, I will use the butt of the blender. Let's get a little bit along the jawline. Let's do a little bit around the nose. Not really in a snatched nose kind of mood. And I think I'll just leave my forehead because it's mostly covered by hair at this point. It's powder time. Stamp out these creases. I've been using a tulip brush lately, the one from Sigma. Fits really well into the eye. I usually just use the same brush to grab my ambient powders now. These two up here are just the sort of light powders, and I kind of just swish that all over in the high points, especially the middle of the forehead, cheekbones, under the eye a tiny bit, and then just a little bit of powder bronzer. The cream bronzer already does a pretty good job. Plus, sometimes putting on your favorite product is just kind of a nice little luxury. I will put it on even though I don't need it, and you can deal with it. I do understand that makeup has a theory But I also understand that makeup is a form of therapy, which is why I got into it in the first place. And if a product makes you feel good, wear it. Put it on your face. Enjoy it. That's my hot take anyway. Just trying to soften those edges a little bit. I always end up going overboard. I'm so happy that I get to put on my favorite product in my brand new room. I never realized how similar Suburbia and Sunstone were until just now. Suburbia is kind of like the more muted older sister. So I think we're gonna go with Sunstone for the blush, at least to start. I will most likely end up deepening it later on. I also, for some reason with these bangs, kind of like the blush peeking through on the temples. So I have been doing that lately. I don't know why, I just feel like it gives me kind of a warmth, a little bit of cuteness. You know what I mean? Let's take a smaller brush, work it onto the nose a little bit. All right, I think we're there with the, oh, no we're not. Jesus, how could I ever forget? This is a perfect look for Milani Luminoso. I just bought a duplicate so that I could also have one at home so that I never have to go without really hitting the apple of the cheek just to get that illumination going, to have the highlight, something to transition into. At least that's what I tell myself before applying 10,000 layers of shiny products to my face. I'm going to slap on some brows off camera. And when I come back, we will start on the eyes. Okay, brows are on, and they went through a bit of a journey. For some reason, my go-to brow pencil that I use pretty much since time immemorial, the Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit, just didn't do the pencil thing. It didn't pencil. It failed to pencil. It just kind of crumbled all over my face. So I had to try and patch things up with the brow blade, the marker side. So they're seeming a bit harsh and a bit dark, and also really not symmetrical. That's not new, but I just want to let you know that it did not go as planned. Let's throw on a lip product because my lips are so crusty and I hate it. This is something I just picked up yesterday when I was getting a bunch of duplicate makeup for my home station. It is the new Physicians Formula Organic Wear Tinted Lip Treatment with Butter Blend. You know those products that just get you with the marketing? They just grab you because they know exactly what you want? Yeah, this is what happened. The ColourPop Just a Tint lip crayons are so good, and I just wear them all the time now because it's all I want to wear. However, I had left them all here and I was going to a friend's house and I was like, I don't really want to wear a lipstick. So I wanted to pick up something that was similar, and this caught my eye, and it came in these really rich, warm looking colors. I am a sucker for a tinted lip balm kind of thing. This is in the color Love Bite. I'll tell you, it goes on really dark. It feels like it's gonna be too much, like here. Like, I honestly was not expecting that much color to come out of a tinted lip balm, but they are quite pigmented, which kind of threw me off. However, I just kind of blend it out with my finger, and it just kind of gives you the most gorgeous, balmy, tinted pout ever, which I am just really here for right now, especially for the summer. And it stays put. I ate a whole mess of pesto linguine last night with it on, and I came home and I still had color on my lips. So if you're Canadian and cannot be bothered to make another ColourPop order during the pandemic, this is your gal. All right, let's put on some eyeshadow. I think I will zoom you in a little bit more. So I don't want this to be really complicated. I kind of want to throw on something, look really cute, and leave. So that is what we're going to do today, folks. We are going to start by priming. Now, I am so mad at the inconsistency of this primer. Some days it works amazing, and some days it cannot be bothered to help me out in the slightest. If anyone out there has an eyeshadow primer recommendation, please send it my way, because I'm just kind of tired of blaming myself for this primer's shortcomings. It does work, but it requires kind of the perfect storm of application to work. If you miss a spot, it's over. You know, it just makes me feel like I'm inadequate. And that's not how I want my makeup to make me feel. Let's get it started with some good old-fashioned Butter Cupcake from Sugar Pill. I think this is definitely the way to go for this look. Butter Cupcake I find is a little hard to build up. It's kind of hard in the pan. You kind of have to really scrape it out to get any color payoff. And actually something I have been doing is actually just taking my finger right in that shadow and dumping it on my lid. Sometimes your girl is impatient. Honestly, this yellow is far superior than the one I was using before anyway, so win-win, hey? Looking a lot brighter in person than on camera at this precise moment. I am gonna be so interested to watch back this footage. And then I just kind of want to fluff it so it gives a nice diffused edge all the way around. And I was kind of winging it out just a little bit. I'm not being too careful. Is that too bright? It doesn't matter. And then originally when I was doing this look, I left this space for blush, but I really didn't like how the two edges of color met up on my face. I didn't like that line. So I think I'm actually gonna take the yellow underneath the eye this time. I honestly think it's gonna be more cohesive that way. Let's use the Precision Firm Blender from Sigma, which is perfect for getting right into those little crevices, blending them out. It's really great for the under eye. I do think I want to deepen it up a little bit in certain areas just to give it dimension. This is too deep. I feel like that's too muted. Maybe some Gemini, would that make it too brown? Before we do that, let's try actually just going into Carnival from the Clown Blush palette, because this is quite pigmented, although it might not give us the depth that I'm looking for. It is pretty darn near close to Butter Cupcake. Yeah, I think we'll give Gemini a go. The color Lorelei right here. I just kind of want to deepen up the edges to make it more of like a halo. Okay, yeah. Run that underneath as well, closer to the lash line. Now comes the annoying part. I really want to dip into this glitter right here because it would just look really magical on the center. What I'm gonna do is take some Duo Lash Glue, since I don't have any glitter glue with me, and we're just going to go right in, just on the center of the lid. That's probably good. I would say let it dry, but this fan is already doing the work for me, and I'm just gonna take my finger into the glitter, pop that on. I mean, I know pressed glitter is a pain. I myself am a staunch anti-pressed glitter human being. However, the color is just too good. It's too good. Last thing I want to do is pop on a little bit of this liquid fairy lights just on the inner corner because it's pretty. And just pat that out a little bit with a brush. Okay, and that is the eyeshadow all complete, if you can believe it. While we're at it, I do have some yellow liner. This is the Creme Gel liner from ColourPop, and this is in the color Punch. I'm gonna go off camera, do all this on the other side, put on some lashes, and we will come back and finish up. Lashes are on. This is a new brand of lashes that actually reached out to me. I'm not an influencer yet, so they didn't give these to me for free, but they have been kind of hounding me for a little while. So Lunar Angel Lashes reached out to me a few months ago asking me if I would try out their lashes. They were beautiful, although they just didn't have anything that was vegan. So I just told them, hey, you know, thanks for reaching out. I only use cruelty-free lashes. Please let me know if you ever end up making a line of cruelty-free lashes. Then cut to a couple months later when, to their credit, they did send me another message when they launched their cruelty-free lash line. Who am I to deny them a second time? They gave me a good discount, so I stocked up on some of their new vegan cruelty-free designs. The one I'm wearing right now is called Solstice, and these are the only ones I've tried so far, and I just really like them. They're really dramatic, but they're nice and wispy and soft, and they are really comfortable. I'm really interested to try the other ones that I picked out, Starlight and Supernova, and they both look super dramatic. So I don't have a discount code with them yet, but I will let you know if that ever happens. Because actually they are really nice quality lashes, and they ship to me really fast, which I was super surprised about given, you know, the pandemic. I want to throw on some freckles just because I feel like this look kind of requires it. Before I do that though, I want to deepen up the blush a bit just because I feel like it'll balance out the lip tint a little bit more. So we're gonna use the Baby Girl stack. This is the shade Scammon. So we're just gonna kind of just beef up the apples of the cheeks. And then let's just take an eyeshadow brush and actually concentrate this on the nose a bit more, just to make sure it doesn't go too wide with the application. Now let's just slam on some freckles. That sounded really violent. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a long time because I haven't. So please update me. Let me know how things are going for you. If you are fighting the good fight right now in whatever way you can, let me know how you guys are taking care of your mental health. I keep kind of forgetting that we need to also make sure that we are taking time away from the onslaught of information coming at you. A lot of previous attempts to start this movement have failed just because people get exhausted, especially if it's new information for you. If you are devoting a lot of time right now to learning and listening, which I am, it can sometimes get really overwhelming, even if you are attempting to try and let go of the guilt and the shame part of the acknowledgement of your privilege, because I feel like that is a huge deterrent to also learning. Shame and guilt really just get in the way. It makes the situation about you, and right now personally it's not about me. So it has been really difficult to kind of balance that out. You know, your brain's already kind of firing on all cylinders to basically do cognitive behavioral therapy on yourself 24/7 every time you log into Facebook or Instagram. And then also on top of that, your brain is working overtime trying to figure out how else you can help by keeping abreast of all the new information that's coming out rapid fire every single day. That can be mentally and emotionally draining. So I just want to say, if you are an ally or if you are a person of color, and if this is just absolutely exhausting for you, remember it's okay to take a break, turn off your phone, shut down the computer, and just try and clear your mind for a day. It is really important that we fill our cups so that we can fill others. Consider the comments here or my DMs a safe space. If you are an ally who is exhausted but doesn't want to exhaust Black people with your doubts, your fears, your feelings, because dumping on them right now probably isn't conducive to their mental health either, I'm offering myself as a place to do that, to dump, for lack of a better term. If you need to talk it out, I would love to talk it out too. So if you ever want to have an open dialogue about how you are doing during this time, let me know. Before we wrap this up, let's put on some highlight. It is no surprise what I'm using. If you're new here, this is the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter, and I'm obsessed with it, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. This is in the shade Pearl. It is this beautiful iridescent pearl peach shifting creamy glow, and it's at the drugstore. Let's not forget the nose. And the brow bone. Folks, let's spray her down. So much space. All right, my friends, this is the look all complete. I am super happy with how it came out. I actually like it more than the first interpretation of this. Honestly, the Sugar Pill Butter Cupcake is the best yellow eyeshadow on the market. You can fight me on that, and I will win. This honestly does feel like a homecoming of some kind. I just feel so comfortable in this space already, and it is such a huge relief. I can feel this kind of weight lifting off my shoulders. I would get into that space and I would feel so cramped and at the same time really exposed to all the people around me, and this place just feels like this protective cocoon, but also it gives me so much freedom and space. I am so excited for this new chapter in the channel, and I hope you guys are too. Again, this is going to be a huge learning process for me, so I hope that you guys will bear with me through that, and I hope that this video is in any sort of way watchable, but I have a feeling it's gonna be just fine. A huge shout out to my mom. She is the one that basically was the catalyst for all this. She made it happen because she allowed it to happen. in. She gifted me this space, and as much as she enjoys her alone time, her downtime, she's still sacrificing some of that for me. So send some love to my mama bear. In the comments below, I will relay all the messages to her. And I think that's everything. I don't know, I could just go on and on about how much I love this new space and how excited I am for the future of this channel. But that would mean that this video would be a zillion years long as opposed to just a million years long, which it probably already is. It feels really good to be back. It feels even better sitting here in this chair that spins. Just so you are aware. Oh my god, I stopped recording and almost forgot to put this in the video because it's been this long. Of course, here are the many ways that you can help out my channel. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can comment down below on what you thought of everything and all the talking points. You can subscribe. Thank you to all the people who stuck it out for this hiatus and stayed on with me. Thank you to all the new subscribers who have subbed during my hiatus, but please subscribe if you haven't. You can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there. And pretty soon on Patreon, you can watch the behind the scenes video of how this room came to be. I hope that you are staying safe and you are staying healthy. Remember, there is still a pandemic going on. We still don't have a vaccine. So please stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, and above all else, be kind and be generous. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!